Elden Ring's armors aren't just there for the looks, though that could be debatable, but also for their late game usefulness. Today we're taking a look at 8 of the most powerful late game armor sets that you're not going to want to miss. Some will provide bonus damage to certain abilities, others will provide unique gameplay features, while the rest will provide some of the best defenses for the least amount of drawbacks. So let's begin with the first one, which is the Black Knife's armor. If you're playing with a thief/assassin character, there's no way you won't want to get your hands on this amazing piece of set. Not only does it look cool, but it comes with a secret bonus that completely muffles all of your movement sounds when having the entire armor set equipped. I'm not even kidding, you can run a whole marathon behind an enemy's back and they will never hear you coming. To get this, you need to make your way to the Ordina town right here on this side of the map, but before you can proceed there, you first need to activate the Grand Lift of Rod using a secret talisman made out of 2 halves that open up the hidden path towards that village. The first half can be located right here in the village of the Albinorics at this NPC who's first going to hide inside a vase, so you'll need to do a little bit of smacking before he reveals himself. The second one is going to be located on the rooftop at the Castle Soul that you can reach simply accessing the Grand Lift of Rod the normal way and making your way over there. Now it does involve defeating a boss, but once you do that, you can make your way to the top and get the second half, which you can then bring back at the Lift of Rod. And what you need to do from this point on is to activate the secret medallion by actually switching to it when you're at the top of the activating platform. From here, simply head over north to the Ordina town and take the route right here to the right side of the village until you see these 3 archways. The armor will be located beneath the smallest one right here at the beginning, so go ahead and collect it, and congratulations, you will look extremely cool from this point on. Now if you made your way already to the Black Knife armor, you already had to fight and defeat Commander Niall back at the Castle Soul rooftop. In case you want some pointers with that fight, he will summon 2 annoying knights at the beginning of the fight, so I highly suggest taking them down first before leaving the boss for the main course. Once defeated, you can now get Commander Niall's set called the Veteran's Armor, but you just need to head over back to the Round Table Hold and buy it from Grandma over here for an exorbitant amount of runes that you should already have plenty of by this time in the game. Now while this armor set might not look like much, well, who am I kidding, it basically looks like a peacock is playing dress up, but essentially it's giving you some of the highest poise rating in the game for a relatively not that heavy set. Well, it's still heavy, but there are definitely way heavier armor sets in the game that give you comparable poise ratings, so this could be an amazing one for a pure strength/endurance character that wants a lot of defenses and still wants to look good, but will definitely not be suited for a weak-boned everyday mage, so yeah, just make sure you're not that. Now if you still want a lot of defenses and a lot of poise but not have a lot of weight to carry on your shoulder, then look no further than the Crucible X armor, and in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, armor set for a pure strength player. You have to start this at the Outer Wall Battleground right here in Lindell. From here, simply follow this route up the nearby stairs, heading to the right through the nearby woods and then descending onto the nearby lake. From here, just follow through the narrow path in the next area and enter the Oriza Hero's Grave using this door. Now when you're inside here, you're going to want to pass a number of chariots that can one-shot you, so here's the best route. So for the first one, just hold right and make your way until you see this gap in the wall with the 2 skeletons, as the chariot is just about to pass you. So wait for it and immediately exit and then run downwards, still keeping it to the right, and then just jump down into the small gap in the floor until you reach the sewers. From here, navigate to the right side of the sewers and then go ahead at the exit. Here you will see a large area with 2 chariots, so you will need to avoid them by simply alternating between them. For the third and final chariot, simply wait over here a bit at the columns until it's making its way up back at the door, and then just run onto the right side in this gap, wait it to go down and then make your way to the main door, and from this point on the coast is clear. From here, there's just a few more steps away from fighting 2 Crucible bosses, so I definitely recommend having a summon that can do tankiness, so Crystallian summon is definitely one of the best early on. Once defeated though, you get the really cool Ordov's Great Sword, but also the Crucible armor set. If you played Elden Ring's beta, you already know how badass this armor is. It gives you a whopping 58 points into poise for a relatively relatively light armor, so to speak. It's still a heavy armor, but not as heavy as the other ones, and it has probably the best poise to weight ratio in the game while still retaining a lot of defenses. Now the next ones are going to be for mages. Actually, 2 armor sets, so both 4 and 5 are going to be in this next section. So yeah, this is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to start with Sellen back at the Waypoint Ruin Cellar, and at the start of the game you just talk to her, and this is pretty much it what you do. Once you reach a little bit later in the game and make your way towards the Volcano Manor, you will also reach this waypoint to Azure the Sorcerer. You will want to actually talk to him, and he will give you the Comet spell, the Azure Comet actually, which is also one of the most powerful in the game. Once you've talked to them, go ahead and make your way back to Sellen at the Waypoint Ruins and talk to her, and she will give you the Cellian Seal Breaker. With this, you will want to head over to the Celia Hideaway in Caelid and just make your way down to the bottom of the cave, navigating these crystals. Once here, you have to defeat a nearby mage and then use the Seal Breaker to open up the barrier that will lead you all the way to Lusat. You'll want to actually talk to them, and once you do that, they will give you access to the legendary Stars of Ruin spell. Once that is done, head back to Sellen, and now she will require you to find her real body, which is located at the Witchbane Ruins in the Weeping Peninsula, just down by the 4th Church of Marika. Once you're there, grab the literal soul out of her body from this downward cellar and then take it back to a secret room back at Rena's Rise. So from here on, just exit Rena's Tower, head over to the left until you see these ruins, and in the middle of them you can hit the ground to reveal a secret opening underground. Navigate all the way to the back of this room, hit the second secret wall that reveals a hidden room where you can find a new body for Sellen to put the soul inside of. The final part is to talk with the announcer back at Redmond's castle, especially if you cannot progress to the last part of the mission. So in case that happens, head over back, especially after defeating Radahn, and talk to that NPC. And then what you want to do is to make your way to the Witchbane Ruins once more, where Sellen's former body is located, and of course you will also find the announcer now in that same cellar, and you will want to have a brief conversation with them. This will bring you to the final part of the mission, and that's going to be to go back at the Raya Lucaria Academy and either fight or help Sellen by picking either the red or the yellow sign on the ground here just outside of Rena's room. So I recommend getting the golden one to help her for the final encounter. Once that is done, you can just go ahead, head over back at the Azure Waypoint and grab the Glintstone armor set from that place. And also don't forget to go back at the Celia Hideaway, and right here at the bottom, instead of finding Lusat, you will now find his armor set, and you can grab that right away too. Now the Azure armor set will obviously give you bonus damage to Azure spells, so this includes the Azure Comet that you got during that same questline too, and the one that will make that build overpowered as hell. Or otherwise, just use the Lusat armor instead. This is gonna give you bonuses to Lusat spells, including the Stars of Ruin legendary one that he got during the same mission. In my opinion, I think that this one looks way better, but obviously not gonna be as meta as the previous one. Or is it? Actually, I think it is, because that one is also quite powerful. Now the next armor set at number 6 is going to be the Raging Wolf armor that I believe any Elden Ring and especially former Souls players should have. Unfortunately, this is completely missable if you kill either Maliketh or Rykard, so don't do that, at least not yet. Instead, you're going to want to head back to the Volcano Manor and complete the first 2 assassination contracts until you have defeated both the Old Knight and Riley the Idol. Once you're done with that, you just have to make your way back to the manor and pass a bit of time at the waypoint, and then go ahead and chat a bit with Bernal here in the second room, and he will give you a ladder of his own against that Raging Wolf character. From here, you simply have to make over in Lindell at the fortified manor all the way into the main hall here at the first floor of the manor. And once you're here, you will have to fight alongside him against 2 mini bosses that in my opinion are quite easy, including the Raging Wolf. And once defeated, they will give you the Raging Wolf set that again is the poster boy armor for this game. It's a pretty amazing one to have, relatively light so to speak for the amount of defenses that it gives you relatively early in the game, while also making you look completely badass. Now coming up to number 7, if you progress just a little bit further to the Volcano Manor questline, which is going to be the third ladder or the red one, this will bring you to another invasion into the mountaintop of the giants, located behind some cliffs southwest of the Soul Castle right here. Now you simply have to make your way to this abandoned shack, and about 10 to 20 meters after it there's gonna be an invasion against Juno Hoslow. So you just have to defeat them, and once you're done with that you get this really awesome Hoslow armor set that in my opinion looks some of the coolest and shiniest in the game, with the silver and the red accents. Personally, I think that this is one of the coolest ones in the game, you know, even though it doesn't give you like any extra benefits outside of the fact that it has some defenses. And finally, this brings us to a bonus armor set at number 8, which is going to be the Knight Cavalry, especially if you're a huge fan of the Black Knights that you fight during nighttime. You can actually get this armor set by killing the 2 nearby the inner consecrated snowfields right here in the lands of the giants. I highly suggest pulling them in one by one, so start with the flail variant, take it down a little bit further away from that caravan so that nobody interferes, and then move on to the second one with the glaive, do the same, and once you're done with that you will get the full set. The set overall is full black, looks really awesome. It's just a shame that we don't get a matching horse skin to go with it. It would have been nice to maybe get some mount skins in the game as well, but who knows, maybe in the future. But this is it with the video. Now if you enjoyed it at any point, a sub to the channel would definitely help a lot. We're trying to reach 400k subs by the end of the year, and a simple subscribe would definitely go a long way. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.